Hello YouTube. In this video I thought what I would do is revisit some of the Derwent pencils that I have been, let's just say, slightly less than satisfied with in my previous videos. And in this video we're revisiting the Derwent pencils as I have reordered 3 of them here for the purpose of this video. And I also went ahead and picked up one of these watercolor painting brushes that hold the water inside as we take a look at the Derwent Dark Wash pencil. So let's get right to it. Okay, if you've watched my previous videos on the Derwent pencils, you know that I'm not a big fan of Derwent. Now, in the area below here, I've left some links to those videos where you can see just why I have not been very impressed with them. However, because I read all your comments, and because some of you, and most notably there was an individual who took the time to make a video showing that the same Derwent pencils that I had used did not match the one he was using, and it came out where his looked real nice and dark and it made all kinds of nice watercolor paint and so forth. And why wasn't mine? And then the question came up too as, could it be storage? You know, could it be humidity? Could it be the time that it has been, you know, traveling across the globe to get here to the United States? Who knows? If you know what it is, please leave your comments down below about that. But as you can see here, I've received 3 Derwent pencils that I purchased from Blick, and unfortunately, no matter how few pencils you order with those guys, shipping is going to cost me 10 bucks. So really? I ended up having to pay way more than I really needed to for pencils that I don't like. So, you know, let's just say I'm kind of hoping that these turn out to actually be better than the ones I've received before, because I've gone through the expense to buy them again. I mean, it's already expensive enough to purchase all the other items that I do videos on, but to buy them twice? Well, I want to be fair to Derwent, fair to those who like Derwent pencils, and because of that, I'm willing to dig into my pocket and, you know, dish out for more stuff, taking the risk that it may just end up in that big old pile of poo-poo pencils that I just absolutely abhor. But anyway, the pencils that I picked up, for example, I went ahead and I picked up the Derwent Graphic 9B because I wanted to compare this 9B to the Derwent Onyx, since their advertising does say that it is darker than a 9B. Now, I've already compared the Onyx to a 9B before in my previous video, but now I'm going to compare it to Derwent's 9B. So it's their own 9B that I'm going to compare it to. And I also picked up the Dark Wash 8B, as you see here, which was the last video I did on Derwent, and it was a complete fail. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can dig up. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I can dig it up because I broke it into several pieces. I believe that was the one that I broke up. So anyway, there's no need to compare it to that because we already know it didn't write worth a bean. So here's a new one, brand spanking new one, not imitation or anything. These are definitely Derwent products made in Britain or England, depending on which one you read. Same place actually. And then here's the Onyx Dark. I went ahead and grabbed another Onyx Dark, although I have a whole can full of them that I paid over $70 for a couple of years ago. And what I'll do is I will compare this new dark with one of these, and we'll see if there's a difference, or in fact, no matter how many times I buy these, they're just going to be junk. So let's find out. So to start off with, I'm going to grab me some paper here. Now this is drawing paper. It's what I used last time, so I want to stick with the same paper. Although I can certainly use watercolor paper. I do have some around here somewhere that we can use. But just for the sake of one-on-one comparison, I want to see if it does come out nice and dark here. So to start off with, let me just get this 9B out of the way here. And why don't we visit, before we get this paper all wet, let's do the dry stuff first. So here is the Derwent Dark. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sharpen this pencil before I start, and then we'll compare it to another Derwent Dark from here, and then we'll compare it to a 9B pencil and see how that turns out. Oh, one other thing too, I just wish they wouldn't put these things here, barcodes on these pencils. I just think they're absolutely annoying. Why put us through the trouble of having to tear them off or put them in our sharpener and get them all gummed up? I mean, come on. I hope someone out there who's responsible for doing this watches this video and realize that it's not appreciated. Anyway, makes the pencil ugly too. Start off with, I'll use this sharpener here, the Mitsubishi. We'll sharpen this puppy down. Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to do any more because it'll eat the whole pencil up like last time. These big, thick core pencils tend to sharpen all the way down. I don't know why. And I'll go ahead and sharpen this 9B. Alright, that looks pretty good. And I'll go ahead and sharpen this wash pencil here a little bit, not much. I don't want to use up too much of it. Good enough. Okay. Alright. Enough sharpening on those. We'll take a quick look at them. See, they're all pretty good. I didn't do the wash to a point, but that's not necessary. We're really going to test its water solubility. Okay, so let's start with the Onyx, and we'll scan in here as close as we can here. Okay, and let's see how dark this comes out, holding it in the back as usual. Okay, so this would be me shading, let's say, someone's skin, or, you know, someone's nose or hair or whatever the case may be. I'm shading. This is me shading on drawing paper. Just shading. And this is as dark as this shading is going to go. Okay, that's shading. You don't press down hard when you're shading, you just let the pencil do its thing, but there you go. I've given it a lot of time here. And this is the Onyx, okay? This is what's supposed to be as dark as a 9B. Now, let me grab one of mine from here. This is one of the ones I did in the video 2 years ago. Here, I'll go ahead and just to be equal, I'm going to sharpen it. Okay, just to be fair. Sharpen it. Big spanking point. Okay. This is the one I did the video on before. See if there's any difference. Shading someone's face, shading the eyes, shading the nose, whatever. This is me shading on drawing paper, 90-pound drawing paper. Okay. This is the one I had before, the old. This is the new. This is the Onyx. Yeah, that's what happens when you have a very sharp point. All right. I don't see any difference. Now I got one extra one that I don't need. Okay, what about the 9B? How does it compare to the 9B? Because they said it's darker than the 9B. Well, let's see. This is going to be the 9B right here. Let's put it to the test. 9B. You know, maybe they just don't want to let us folks over here, us Yankees, have the real good Derwents. They just sell us their secondhand stuff. I don't know. What's up, Derwent? You don't like the weather here in the U.S.? Do we have to have more clouds in the sky for these pencils to work? What's up with this? All right, people, you decide, huh? I mean, come on. I use the same amount of pressure, same amount of time, same amount of everything. Just well, now I'm going to stick my new Derwent that I just bought, just came in the mail today, and I'm going to stick it in this can of a whole bunch that I already bought. So I just bought another Derwent plus a whole lot of shipping, 10 bucks, just to add to my ho-hum. These are not dark. I don't care what, they're not dark. I'm sorry, you know, but I bought it again and it's the same old. Look, I'm telling you, look at that. That's a 9B. That's dark. At least, at the very least, it should be just as dark if they're going to advertise it as darker than a 9B. You know, do you know how you make these dark? This is how you make them dark. all right, this is another new one. I haven't even sharpened this. This is the way it comes. Is you press hard. You have to press hard. Here, I'm pressing hard. I am putting dents in the paper, which is a no-no. Makes it very, very hard to erase. Virtually impossible to erase. But I'm pressing real hard, real hard. That's the best I'm going to get out of it, and that's pressing hard. All right. Now, that's a dark pencil. That's 9B. Okay. Their 9B is a good pencil. I have no complaints. It is definitely a dark pencil. Here, I am now using the point, and I'm pressing it into the paper. And I'm not even pressing it as hard as I did that one. Okay, but I wanted to fill it in just like I did here. You can see for yourself. Okay, that's really, really bad. Really bad. All right, now that we're done with the Onyx, and I consider it a fail. Okay, now let's do the wash. Let's see if the wash is better than the one I had in that kit, that sketch kit that was just terrible. As a matter of fact, I have it right here off to the side. The one I got from the kit, the 4 sketching kit, you can see it's not there anymore. The 8B wash, because I broke it into pieces and threw it away. It was worthless. Check out that video, links below. You can see what the deal is. Okay, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go put some water in this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I just filled one of these things up with water, so we'll be able to test the Derwent Dark Wash 8B. Well, let's see if it's any better than it was that I had before. All right. Again, just going to put in the usual pressure as before. And of course, it doesn't look like an 8B when it's dry, but we'll see what it does when it's wet. Okay, there. I've given it plenty. Now let's go ahead and use this wet thing here, and guess I got to get this thing started. Some water in there. Whoa, I'm leaking already. There we go. We're getting some water there now. All right. Now let me just do this again. Is this the wash? Yep. Now I got some water on that brush there. Let's do this again. All right. Okay, well that's definitely a whole lot better than before. No doubt about that. Yep. There we go. That's nice. All right. So it was definitely a good idea to get another dark wash pencil, because the one I had before was junk. The one that came in that sketch kit. But this one is definitely a nice dark color. Okay, so that worked out great. Look at that. All right, and I know if I brought the Prismacolors out, it would just be doing the same thing that I'm seeing here right now. So the wash has been exonerated, the Derwent Wash. So I will retract what I said about the Derwent Wash, 8B wash that is, and that it is a good wash pencil, and that it does go on dark when you wet it. There is one thing though I do want to test with it, and that is its dry appearance. So let's take a look at that next. Now for this little experiment, I'm using the Canson mixed media paper here, and I want you to notice that it says right here, acrylic watercolor pen and pencil. So we can actually do watercolor on this paper. It's kind of a thick paper. Let's see, what was it? It's 98 pounds, so it's 8 pounds more than the paper I was just using, but this one does allow for watercolor. And we'll just ignore that I had some testing going on here with something else some time ago. As a matter of fact, that's a Derwent 2H sitting right there. And I'm going to bring out that Prismacolor again. And let's see, we want the wash pencils. And here they are. Let's see, here's the 8B water soluble graphite. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and bring out all of them again. Here's the light HB and the medium 4B. So let's go ahead and use them all. Alright. And where is our, there we go, and here's our Derwent. So let's match these up. First off, I'm going to do the light HB Prismacolor. And you'll notice I rotate the pencil from time to time here. I stop and rotate. So I'm keeping a point the best I can. And I'm going across the paper here more, so if you see it being uneven at all, you'll know that there's a pressure issue. And you can see everything looks pretty good here, and I'm kind of even going back over it, make sure that there's plenty of graphite here. Alright, that should be plenty for a test. Okay, and this is the HB. Next, I will use the medium 4B. And I can tell the 4B is a little darker dry. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. That's the 4B. Now we'll use the 8B. And that's definitely darker than the 4B. No doubt about that. I gotta stop more often to turn the pencil because it's a softer pencil, of course. Being darker, it's softer. Alright. And then here's the 8B Dark Wash. Oh, I forgot to write 8B on that one. Okay, here's the Dark Wash 8B. Okay, I can tell that it's not as dark as an 8B from Prismacolor. So as far as dry is concerned, the Derwent is not as dark as an 8B. I could also tell, but we'll verify, that it does go on darker on this paper than it did on the 90-pound drawing paper, and that's because of the roughness of the paper itself. The fibers, the pattern, does allow it to take up more. Okay, and this here is the Derwent 8B. Bring it up. You can see for yourself. Now, the Prismacolor 8B is darker than the Derwent 8B. I would say that the Derwent 8B is closer aligned to the 4B, though it does appear to be a little darker, so I would say it falls in between these two. Now let's take a little bit of water and see what these little puppies will do. Okay, that's really nice. Alright, that's the HB. Now the 4B. It's definitely darker than the HB. Alright, cool. Then the 8B from Prismacolor. And Derwent. Well, there you go, folks. Okay. You can compare right there on your screen. But it is a lot better than the one I had before. There's no doubt about it. It's way, way, way better. Now it's a lot more fun to play with. Okay. My job is done. There's your Derwent. There's your Prismacolors. I'll let you choose what you think is best. Personally, I do like the Prismacolors better, but I have to admit though that the 8B wash, this new one I bought, it does at least what you would think it should do, and that is it is producing a nice dark wash, pretty much close to the 4B-ish here, but still way better than it was before. And as far as on this paper here, how does it compare? Well, let's see. The 8B, trying to draw it close to the edge of this paper makes it easy to compare. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do it on here. This is the watercolor paper, drawing paper. And yep, there is a difference. This one's a little smoother but lighter, and then it comes out darker, but it has more of the potholes, you know, the little white pattern holes. So yes, if you draw on drawing paper, it is going to come out a little different. Now here is the Prismacolor 8B. Let's give it the same consideration, shall we? Get it to the edge there. Alright. And then come over here. Do it here. And dry again. Dries darker. And there's the comparison. Watercolor paper and drawing paper. Side by side. There you go. Derwent Prismacolor. So on drawing paper, it does come out lighter than on watercolor. Dry and wet, you can see the Prismacolor is darker wet. You can see that the Prismacolor is darker dry, no matter what medium we use. So there you go. But regardless of whether we're doing it on drawing paper or on watercolor, all right, the Derwent 8B wash is a lot darker than it was when I used that other 8B wash and broke it up into pieces. So I have to say that here I'm glad I purchased the dark wash again, so that at least I have a dark wash from Derwent that lives up to being a dark wash, as opposed to the one that I had before that just absolutely died on drawing paper, and of course would have died just as well on the watercolor because it was just junk. So you can see for yourself, it's not a big major jump, though it is. You can definitely see there's a difference from paper to paper, but this is way, way, way darker and better than that piece of junk 8B wash that I had before. So it's been exonerated as far as the 8B wash is concerned. As far as the Onyx is concerned, it still is a fail as far as I'm concerned. It just does not compare anywhere close to a 9B pencil, and it's just way too light of a pencil to be called a dark. So anyway, all right, well, hey, I think we've beaten this dead horse as much as we're going to. I think I've covered about every avenue I can on this, and so you know what my conclusions are. The Onyx is still, I'm still going to give it a negative. It's still junk as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't live up to being as dark as a 9B or darker as a 9B. Period. It doesn't. I've already purchased from 2 different sources now, and I just, for the life of me, cannot see how this could be considered a dark pencil, because it's just not that I have seen. And I'm sorry if that offends anyone who really loves the Onyx, because you know what? I mean, I don't know what else I can do. But as far as the dark wash, I have to agree, yes, it is darker, and I ended up with a junk pencil last time. Now I've got me one that actually does do a dark wash. Regardless of the paper I'm using, it does a dark wash. Do I think it's better than the Prismacolor washes? No, not apples to apples, 8B to 8B, no. But it's dark enough, and it's definitely, you know, darker than a 4B, so that, you know, that's cool. So that's a good thing. If you like this review, this recap, please give me a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.